Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mercury. So today we're going to do a movie review because I got to see something I had been waiting for a little bit of time. Because it was number one, a limited release, 2, foreign film, 3, independent film. So it takes a little bit of time, if you would, for films of that genre and those categories to make it to some semblance of a wide distribution. And I say some semblance because this movie was released in the United States from May 2nd to I believe either May 5th or May 6th. It was somewhere in that ballpark. So only a handful of days, right? Not a lot of opportunity to see it. And in my area, which is the New York City metro area, there were a lot of theaters showing it, but one showing per day. That was it. Limited accessibility to go see it because foreign film, independent film, and not an English language film. It was all in French. Now, my friends, what did I go see? I went to go see Jeanne Du Barry, which is the film that was written, directed, starred in by Maïwenn, and stars Johnny Depp. So I am so excited that I finally got to see it. It was first shown, it had its debut at the Cannes Film Festival last year. And, there was a lot of buzz, right? There was a lot of, ooh, this is good. What's going on here? Is this Johnny Depp's comeback, right? But there was so much feedback around it of it being just a quality film. I was really curious. I was really, really curious. So I got to go see it. So this is a movie review, my thoughts and my opinions after seeing Jeanne Du Barry. Let's get into it. So number one, like I said, foreign language film. I am an English speaker. My French is very minimal. I have a high school French aptitude and I did not do very well in it. I wish I could do better. I wish I did better with foreign language. My brain is wired to do certain things very well. Foreign language I really, really have struggled with. So no, I don't speak French. I had to rely on the subtitles. Did that make it any better nor worse of a movie? No. It was just a different way of experiencing it. That's it. So what was this about? What is the story behind this movie? And why was all this hubbub there, right? So this film is about Jeanne, who starts out as a peasant. She is a common woman in France. And she is portrayed in this film as being someone who is very intelligent, has a lot of both book smarts and street smarts, like survival skills, understands that the world is set up in a certain way, and if she wants to be recognized and accepted in certain societies and certain circles, there are certain things that she will have to do or not do to get there. And she uses those survival skills, her intelligence, and basically climbs the social ladder and the social structure, so to say. But she's never fully accepted or fully integrated in society. And again, this is historical fiction, right? There's probably some liberties that were taken in this film. So this is just the way the character of Jeanne Du Barry was portrayed. And Maïwenn was the actress who portrayed her. So eventually she climbs the social ladder and is introduced to King Louis XV and becomes his consort, right? And it is about her early years getting to that point, and then what is her life like in that position as this outsider who is brought into the royal house, right? She's not born into royalty. She started as a peasant, as a common woman, and she was brought in to palace life and learning how to navigate that. And there are these brilliant moments of levity that are interwoven, and one of the absolutely funniest moments for me, I wasn't expecting it, and I laughed so hard when this happened. They were teaching her like proper etiquette when you meet the king. How do you behave? What do you say and do? And one of the things they were teaching her is you can never turn your back on the king. If you want to leave an area or, exit a room, you have to back away and take these tiny, tiny, tiny little shuffle steps. Teeny, 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 teeny little shuffle steps backwards. And she just started giggling. And then, she's like, really? Is this really a thing? And they were like, absolutely. This is how it's done. You must. And she's like, what if I don't do it? And they were like, he'll think poorly of you. You must do this. So then, a few scenes later, she goes and she meets the king, who is played by Johnny Depp. And, she's like looking around this room that they're in and is like fascinated by all these things. And, the King Louis points out, like, there's this statue. Would you like to see this statue? And it's like, he's sitting here and the statue is over here, and she would have to cross this way, and in crossing would have her back to him. And she does it and then realizes, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And then she turns and starts to back away. And she's like, I can't do it. And he's like, what do you mean? What do you mean you can't do it? She's like, I can't do the little steps. And you like, just that moment between the two of them, it was perfect. It was perfect. And it brought such levity and such humor in minor gestures, minor looks, but the way that they interacted with each other and the emotion conveyed and the friendliness. There was a playfulness that was in there, and it was like the two characters' first time meeting. And it sort of set the stage of what their rapport and their relationship would evolve into. And it was just moments like that I was just like, oh, yes, this is great. This is great, because it's like, it wasn't like slapstick, right? It wasn't like somebody falling down a flight of stairs to make you laugh. There was an intelligence to this type of humor. And it was the combination of the physicality with that thoughtfulness that just made it uniquely funny to me. And I loved it. It was great. So there were moments like that, like sprinkled in throughout the film. It's not a comedy, it's a drama, but there were these moments of levity. And the story progresses and, continues to follow Jeanne's experience in the palace as this outsider, and how she is ostracized, and what happens when King Louis XV falls ill and is facing his mortality. And what does that mean for her? And she was not protected in any way. And what would her life then become? And exploring that and what it meant to be a woman, and to be a woman in those circumstances in that period of time. One thing about period pieces, costumes and sets. Costumes and sets. They're just sort of like synonymous with period pieces, right? Anytime you're doing any kind of like historical replication, especially of like royalty or upper class, because then you get the fancies, right? You get the powdered wigs and the big bustles and the trains and the gold embellishments and all of those little details that just bring a richness and a luxury to these characters, and gives the actors a way of additionally bringing these characters to life, right? Like that garb and the weight of that garb, like I don't know about you, but I've worn heavy dresses. I cosplay and I wear dresses that have some heft to them, and they change the way you walk. They change the way you carry yourself. So when you have a period piece and they have these heavy, layered, bustled, caged skirts, like it will impact how you present yourself to the world. And it really made these characters so alive, so complete, right? Like it's not just what they said or what they did. It's the nonverbals, right? The mannerisms, the expressions, all of that full picture. And it was just so thoughtfully done. And the use of set design and taking advantage of, large scapes, right? Very wide shots. It just really set a tone of the overall film that was just perfect for what it was, in my opinion. I thought the cinematography really also helped to tell that story. It really, in some ways, became a character. There's this one scene where Jeanne is like very excited, and she starts running up the palace steps, and they're like, so big, so many steps, and she's running, but they show it from this big wide shot and how long it takes her to get up there. But her level of excitement doesn't slow her down. She just keeps going, and she keeps going, and she keeps her pace, and she's just so excited. But the cinematography, like, they could have done that in like a close shot. They could have done that in multiple shots and like, different angles, but they showed it from a wide shot, which showed the scope of all of these stairs she was climbing up. Right? This was not a downhill climb. This was an uphill climb of these stairs. And it really showed the scope, which added to like, oh my God, she's so excited that without pausing, without getting tired, without taking a break, she just scaled all these steps to go find King Louis because she is that thrilled. Like, that's what I mean by the cinematography added, like, to the character, right? Like, that helped tell a part of the story that like you will process on the back end, but it doesn't need to be said, right? Like, does that make sense? I don't know, it makes sense in my brain. I don't know. But it gave scale, and then things can be understood without having to be said. I think that's what I'm getting at. So yeah, I think this movie had a lot going for it. I really enjoyed watching it. But again, it will not be everyone's cup of tea, right? If you are not a person who likes to watch films in another language and have to rely on subtitles if you do not speak French, right? Like, that's going to be something that would be a barrier for this. It is a drama, and it is an independent film, so it did have a limited release. I don't know when it will be on streaming services or anything like that, but I hope they get a contract for some streaming service, because I think more people should see this, because it was well done. It was really well done. It really, really was. Maïwenn did an amazing job with this movie. My hat's off to you. You did phenomenal with it. You did it. You did it. So that is my review of Jeanne Du Barry. And with that, I'm done for the day. I'll see you all real soon. And until then, stay inspired by everyone. Take care.